Hello everyone. Today I would like to explain you in this video the balance sheet as well as profit and loss account of a banking company. The entire balance sheet as well as profit and loss account of a banking company should be prepared based on schedule numbers. So the first schedule till 12th schedule, it is for your balance sheet, and your profit and loss account starts from schedule number 13 to schedule number 16. The entire balance sheet gets divided into two groups. One is your capital and liabilities. The other one is your asset, and any contingent liability, if it is there, that will be schedule number 12. So contingent liabilities, bills for collection, which is not related to banks. So any activities which is not related to bank, if it is there, that will come under your schedule number 12. So we will just check the balance sheet as well as profit and loss account format today in this particular video. The first one is your balance sheet, which has to be prepared as per your Form A. So Form A of RBI, and which is as per our Banking Regulation Act, the balance sheet has to be prepared. So this Form A has divided the balance sheet into two groups, and then it starts from schedule number 1 till schedule number 12. The first part of your balance sheet is your capital and liability. So under that, schedule number 1 will be for your capital. So you can see here, schedule number 1 will be for your capital. The next one is your reserves and surplus. Any kind of reserves, what is generated by your bank during the year, or any previous reserves, if it is there, it will be coming under your schedule number 2 as your reserves and surplus. Next is schedule number 3, deposits. So deposits will be your deposits which has been kept by your customer in your bank. For example, any kind of deposit you have in the form of fixed deposit. So that will be reflecting in your schedule number 3. So any types of deposit, what is there, SB deposit, fixed deposit, recurring deposit, all that deposits will be reflected in your schedule number 3 under liabilities of your balance sheet of a bank. Schedule number 4 is for your borrowings. So what is this borrowing? Being a bank, if at all you have borrowed from any other financial institution or your co-bank, then it will be reflected under your schedule number 4. If you have borrowed any amount, short-term or long-term borrowings, if you have, that borrowings will be reflected under schedule number 4. Next is our other liabilities and provision, which is schedule number 5. So what do you mean by this other liabilities and provision? Any kind of other liabilities if you have, and the provisions made during the year, like provision for taxation, provision for contingency, or any kind of other liabilities which you have to pay, any outstanding salary you have to pay for your workers, or any kind of other liabilities which you have to pay will be reflected under schedule number 5. So from 1 to 5 schedule number, it will be part of your capital and liability. Then next is our assets. So under asset, the first one what we have is cash and bank balances which you have with Reserve Bank of India. The cash balances what you have in your bank for your transaction, and the reserves what you have kept with your RBI will get reflected in schedule number 6 as your asset. So next, schedule number 7 is for your balances with other banks and money at call and short notice. What do you mean by money at call and short notice? So money at call and short notice is nothing but the amount what you have given for any other banks at a short notice. So if they have requested for an emergency, a certain amount to meet their day-to-day transaction, if they don't have sufficient cash, they come and ask your bank. If at all you have given any kind of such aids for other banks, at a short notice, they are supposed to return back the amount what they have taken. So that will be part of your schedule number 7. So it is just an interbank adjustment based upon the understanding what they have. Next is schedule number 8, investment. So investment will be part of your schedule number 8. Next, we have fixed asset. So fixed asset will be schedule number 10. Being a bank, if at all you have an asset, any kind of fixed asset, what you have. For example, a bank will have a computer. Computer will be your fixed asset. To run your banking activity, you may own some of a building. So that will become again an asset. So that will be reflected under your schedule number 10. The last one is your other assets. Other assets are nothing but any other current assets if you have apart from this, that gets reflected under schedule number 11. So from 6 to 11, it will be your assets in your banking balance sheet. So next one is your contingent liability and bills for collection. If we have, that gets reflected in your schedule number 12. So any kind of other banking activity what we have, that gets reflected under schedule number 12. Next comes our profit and loss account. Even this profit and loss account will be prepared as per Form B of our banking accounts. So the entire profit and loss account here gets divided into 4 groups. One is your income, second part is your expenses, third one is your profit and loss account, the last one is your appropriation. So under income, we have schedule number 13 as well as 14, which is interest earned. So being a bank, any kind of interest what you earn will be schedule number 13. For example, if you give a home loan, so you are going to charge interest for that house loan. So any type of interest what you have received for a loan, what you have lended will get reflected under schedule number 13. So if it comes for other income, it is all other incomes like locker rent you would have collected. So any kind of transfer charges you have charged. So all that things will get reflected in your schedule number 14 as other incomes, which is not in the form of interest, but you have earned that particular income through your banking transaction. That will be reflected under schedule number 14 as other income. So next part of our balance sheet is our expenditure. Under expenditure, we have interest expended. So interest expended is nothing but being a bank, any type of interest what you pay for your customer is termed as your interest expended. That will be schedule number 15. So what is this particular interest expended? Interest on fixed deposit, what is maintained by your customer if you pay. That gets reflected under your schedule number 15. Next is our operating expenses. So this operating expenses will be under your schedule number 16. So any kind of banking activity, if you have to conduct, you should have a place to conduct that for which you pay a rent, which gets reflected under operating activities schedule number 16. So next is your employee salary, what you pay. Lighting charges, what you pay. So all that operational activity to conduct your banking activity, any expenses which you incur on a regular basis is termed as your operating activities, and that will come under your schedule number 16. Next, without any schedule number, we are going to take provision and contingencies, which gets reflected here in our expenses itself without any schedule number. Next part of your profit and loss account will be your profit. So any profit which is there in your question, which has been specified for the previous year, bring forward, and then you have to check what is your current year profit. So current year profit will be your total income minus your expenses. That is total of schedule number 13 and 14 minus the expenses what you spend for 15, 16 as well as your provision and contingencies. When you deduct that, you are going to get the profit during the year. The last part of our profit and loss account is our appropriation. Under this appropriation, if you are conducting any kind of banking activity in India, 25% of statutory reserve on current year profit is mandatory. So you have to maintain 25% statutory reserve. So what do you mean by statutory? It is as per law, you have to maintain 25% of reserve. So next is other kind of reserve. It is specified in the problem. We can appropriate that, and any kind of government reserves it is mentioned, we can take into consideration. The last one will be your balance, which has to be transferred to balance sheet. So this is the end of your profit and loss account. The balance, what is there in our balance sheet, gets again reflected in your reserves and surplus under your schedule number 2. Thank you so much.